Cheers and welcome to The Real Review. What's for dinner? We are. That's right, on tap with The Real Review today, we have NBC's hit show Hannibal, which stars Hugh Dancy, Mads Mikkelsen, and Lawrence Fishburne, and is all based around, loosely, the Hannibal novels, especially the Hannibal novel Red Dragon. This is a show that's in its first season. Its second season is set to debut on Friday, February the 28th at, I believe, 10 p.m. Check your local listings for that one. And this is a very interesting concept. It's a concept that we've obviously seen before in the Hannibal movies, which were done very, very well. And Hannibal Lector is, of course, best portrayed by Anthony Hopkins in a legendary role, which will make Anthony Hopkins a name that everybody will know for the remainder of existence, period. So, with this television show right here, it seemed almost like we didn't need it. However, there was a lot of information in Red Dragon, not to mention a lot of the universe of Hannibal that could easily be kind of created to kind of elevate his mystique, either that or to make a long-running serial television show, which is exactly what they're aiming to do. The creators of the show and those working on it are planning to do 13-episode seasons for every season, as opposed to jumping up and down based around the popularity of the show, and they are saying that 7 seasons is something that they can picture as the run for this show. So if you do the math right there real quick, 7 times 13, we could be talking about potentially 91 episodes of Hannibal coming our way within the next 6 years, which means that the next 6 years of our life are going to be really, really, really cool. So, with the first season complete, we kind of got the setup of the show. We understand what is going on. We have Mads Mikkelsen playing Hannibal Lecter, and Hugh Dancy is playing Will Graham, who has been hired by Lawrence Fishburne, who is Jack Crawford, in order to investigate a case. This is something that Will Graham used to do. However, he is able to get himself into the mindset and really kind of hallucinate exactly what the murderer has done in order to kind of understand their motives, and it's a tool that has not only helped him catch these individuals, but at the same time is also driving him to go batshit fucking crazy. Now, because of this, Jack Crawford is very aware of Will's unconventional methods, however, not the detail of his psychosis. He is able to hire Dr. Hannibal Lecter in order to help him along the way. And now we have the basic plot premise of the show, and we don't want to spoil anything too much. However, throughout the course of the first season, it is seen that Will Graham, while trying to investigate a major case that is involving 8 missing girls in Minnesota, we are also finding other cases that are popping up, and Will Graham and Hannibal Lecter are working in conjunction in order to track down the killers, while at the same time experiencing various elements that is showing that there's a copycat that has emerged that is very, very close to them. Somebody that is seems to really know a lot of elements of these different cases. It seems to be mirroring them, either that or making some minor alterations, perhaps perfecting the arts, whereas the other killers were not doing as well of a job in doing so. And of course, as we kind of know from the Hannibal mystique, we know that it's going to be Hannibal that is this second serial killer. However, it's how it's going to be revealed and how it's going to be kind of, coming to be that is really going to be the part that is very, very interesting. Mainly because, I can give you one spoiler, at the end of Season 1, he is still not revealed to be the killer of these other victims, these other bodies. But you are slowly but surely understanding Hannibal's ability to really be a sinister son of a bitch, and a very, very manipulative one based around his psychoanalytical background as the series progresses. This series, and basically this character, required so much prep work that they actually had somebody as in on the set as an advisor toward culinary cannibalistic practices. That's right, somebody is there actually showing them what is the best way in order to cook and prepare human flesh. And this is something that really adds an element to the realism to this series, which is certainly something that has been both a popular aspect of the series, but also one that has drew a lot of significant criticism. This is a very gory series. This is one that is very tough on your mind. If you are of weak psychological constitution, then this is one that will definitely trip you out and mess with your head a little bit. But if you like that kind of thing, you are going to be eating this series up piece by piece by piece. There's a lot of symbolism in this series. There is a tremendous amount of symbolism that is really geared a lot toward the negative aspect of human nature. There's a lot that's also based around the simplicity of our lives and how very quickly they can be ended. Either that or how killing somebody could potentially equate you to God himself. A lot of different symbolism, which is definitely something that's drawn a lot of significant scrutiny to the series, especially in Salt Lake City, Utah, where the show is not seen on television based around its violent and graphic content. There is another episode that was not shown out of the original 13-episode run that is available, however, on the DVD release, which is currently available, and you should definitely check it out. And the one thing I like about this show is that it is not a show that feels it needs to really you go full tilt 100% all of the time. This is one that is able to slowly churn and slowly develop the story while at the same time also continuing the overall story arc of the entire series, and it's not something that feels as though it has been purposely slowed down or has been slowed down to a pace where it is just no longer unappealing. This is instead one where you kind of have to track two concurrent things at the same time. One only lasts one episode or a 2 to 3 episode arc, whereas the rest of it is enveloping the entirety of the series. This is one where the pacing is being handled at a directly sinister pace, a directly almost Hitchcockian pace, which is really showcasing the real homage that is being done to famous film directors and just famous names in general, such as Hitchcock, such as David Lynch, such as Stanley Kubrick. Gotta really give a lot of appreciation to the series. I know I've talked a lot about series that I really enjoy so far on the Real Review. We will get to some that I am not fond of, I'm sure, sometime in the future. Either that or films that I'm not fond of, which we did track with the Twilight series. However, Hannibal is just one of those really addicting shows that you find yourself wanting to see the next episode immediately after the one that you just watched is complete. This is the reason why the DVD release right now is a very, very enticing pickup, because you don't have to wait that week. However, those of you who are already caught up, Season 2 does begin tomorrow, as of the date of this recording, and it is going to be absolutely ridiculous. It's going to really pick up right where we left off, which for those of you who are watching, you know exactly where we are. We are in a very, very nearly familiar place. And while this is a lot more original material and some source material being drawn on from Red Dragon, basically just trying to establish the partnership that was pre-existing during the Red Dragon movie between Hannibal Lecter and Will Graham, this is something where we can start to see some tie-ins with some familiar faces, with some familiar characters, and with some familiar individuals that we have already seen on the silver screen, or for those of you literary bookworms, you've already dealt with in the minds and the imaginations of the books that you have read from Thomas Harris's popular Hannibal series. Really like this show. Cannot recommend it enough. What do you guys think of Hannibal? What do you guys think about the series and the character in general? Is Anthony Hopkins the best Hannibal ever, or does Mads Mikkelsen have a potential to hold a candle sometime down the road? Let me know in the comments, and we will talk to you guys later. Real Review is out. Peace.